Hello, tarot people, and welcome back to yet another tarot reading. You guys, I'm so super excited for this one, especially because I haven't posted in a little while, okay, you guys? So I'm really excited to just get right into this tarot reading. We are reading tonight. Well, I'm saying tonight because I'm doing this at 3 in the morning. All right. We are doing a psychic tarot reading on The Weeknd, aka Abel Tesfaye. All right. So I'm ready. Let's do it. I did a lot of prep work today, listened to all his music, which was very easy to do because I will say I am a fan. Okay. I love his music, love his work. We are going to use the Inner Eye Oracle. This deck is calling me. Let's do it. Early life. What was Mr. The Weeknd? Early life like? Ooh, the rebel card right away. He was a rebel. Point blank period. He was different. And that's something I was getting to his like very strongly when I was channeling is his uniqueness as an artist and as a person. He just screams uniqueness. You know, he's almost like in a way an indie artist, but mainstream yet indie at the same time. It's very uh strange to describe, but um very unique, very different from the crowd, very different from other artists, yet still in a way mainstream. The Friend. Let's clarify that. Oh, I'm getting like early love in his early life. I was also asking about his come up too in music. Okay, so I'm getting, see if you could see these cards. I'm getting that in his early life he was a rebel. Makes sense because his of his indie vibes and um uniqueness. All right, he was just very different from the crowd growing up. I'm getting that he had a friend, a person close to him that made him feel like less of an outcast, okay, and made him feel lucky to have found him or her. I'm getting it was a her, and that she was almost like the missing piece to his angst, to his worries. All right, she was the solution. They made it official and it ended. All right, let's clarify how long. I didn't expect this. You know, hmm. I'm getting that work was involved. So I'm getting that his work may put a strain on the relationship because he was putting a lot of effort into his music and his art. Um, hmm. He was very passionate about his ideas and his music and what he wanted to bring to the world. And that became the forefront, even though, like we said earlier, in his early life, he was experiencing angst, worries, feelings of being an outcast, feelings of not fitting in, not finding his place. Yet this friend, this getting a lover was the solution for him. He felt very lucky to have found her. Um, and in a way, she inspired him to focus on his real passion in his work, music. I'm getting that she ignited the flame and gave him a lot of ideas, um, like in a secondhand way, just because he felt right with her. Um, and I think that she had a lot to do with his come up and him getting on the right path, on the path that he dreamed of, getting into the music industry. and putting his stuff out and getting it seen. Okay. Mm. Okay. I think that his current work today and his work in general, his music work, it's extremely inspired by the memories that he gained from his past relationships. Okay. And I think that's his main inspiration is for his music is are his past relationships and him recalling um the relationships and the circumstances that occurred in them, how it made him feel dealing with other people, navigating these relationships as a young kid and as a growing adult. I think he was torn. Let me clarify this, please. This picture just looks like him as a young kid for some reason. And it says The Apprentice. I think he was like bright-eyed. That's the expression, bushy-eyed, bright-eyed kid who was really so excited to like embark on this new endeavor. Okay. Okay. So I was getting that he was torn. He had a feeling of being torn between like settling down, focusing on a relationship and focusing on his work. But I'm getting the sense that it's kind of he's very like he when he's focused on something, he gives 1,000% effort. So if he is in a relationship and he knows it's the girl he wants to be with, he's gonna put 1,000% into that, and make that effort. But at the same time, when he's doing a project, focusing on his work, he's gonna give 1,000% into that. So I can see it being very difficult for him to balance both. Um, the energy I'm getting is that he could only manage one of those things at a time since he's giving so much effort to them. So I'm getting a sense that he was at a time torn between commitment in a relationship and his work. Can you clarify this leader and the stranger here? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I was reading that he was born in Toronto. So I'm getting that the sense that he fell in love in Toronto. He was born and raised there. He fell in love in Toronto, probably first love type of deal. And his heart is attached to this place where he fell in love. He quite literally left his heart there. I'm getting very passionate person, extremely passionate person. Okay. I'm getting the sense that he fell in love in Toronto, in the streets of Toronto with whoever this was, this relationship he was involved in. And he gave 1,000% into it when he was in the relationship. And a part of his heart actually was left there because he was torn between his passion, for music. Okay. I think he was presented with an opportunity to leave his home, leave everything he built there and created there, and embark on this new journey to meet strangers, meet other people, collaborate with them, build new relationships, um, create new ideas. I'm going to clarify one more time this leader card. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting heavy. There's this female who kind of led him out of his home. Like I'm under the impression that when artists are on the come up that, it's labels and the producers who kind of scout them and or maybe they go to the artists themselves go to the producers and present their work or that producers kind of recruit and scout other smaller artists and things like that. So I'm getting this female who served as someone who kind of took Abel under her wing, brought him out of his home in Toronto, and showed him like what he can be. She might have taken him to a party, social engagement, and offered stability and said, This isn't just a dream. This doesn't have to be just a dream, a fiction, a fantasy. This can actually be your life. And I'm getting the sense that there's this female, getting brunette, almost like this card here. Well, it doesn't really show if she's brunette or not. I'm getting brunette woman, older 30s maybe, I don't know. Who took Abel under her wing, said, come to this party with me. Let me show you. Don't, and you don't have to come, but just entertain me. And then when he showed up, that she was able to show him this can be your life. Do you see all these artists? These are the artists that I took under my wing and offered stability to. It's not just, you don't have to be a SoundCloud rapper anymore. You can actually have the good life, be at the top. But I'm getting the sense that he finds this as a mistake. Wow. Because like I said, his heart is left at home in Toronto. Whew. Starting off heavy, y'all. This is a whole storyline. Obstacles at the bottom of the deck. All right. Face obstacles. And I say this in most of my readings. People experience obstacles wherever they are, whether they're in their home or living the good life, SoundCloud rappers, whatever the case is. We're all going to experience obstacles uh, wherever you are. I think I'm getting the sense of like I'm getting like imagery of like a magnifying glass. Like sometimes people's obstacles are just magnified, blown up. You know what I mean? Oh, this is a little bit of a random question. So I have an outline of all the topics I want to go over, but within that outline, it's just like random questions. Some aren't random, some are more structured, but one of the random questions is, where did his name come from? What was his inspiration for being called the Weeknd? That's something I never knew. And also, why doesn't he do interviews? I'm gonna pull on that too. Where did his name come from? Should I use this deck? Let's use this deck really quick. This might be a long read, y'all, because I'm getting a lot right off the jump. All right. I hope you guys like the longer read. Let me know in the comments. Do you like longer? Would you prefer shorter, more detailed, or more structured? Let me know. He was thinking about his name, really meditating on it. The weekends. It's kind of difficult because this is such a specific question. Did it come to him in a dream? I'm getting he meditated on it. And he was really thinking about it week after week after week. All right. What about the relationship? Did a girl tell him? There's a stranger that is popping up. Okay. I think it was inspired by a girl. He's a romantic, by the way. Like his music does have It does cover common themes. We're going to get into that. And one of the themes is him being, for lack of a better term, a sad boy, like a romantic, but someone who gets hurt, a romantic who gets hurt quite a bit and takes things, to heart. So I'm getting with his name, romance, stranger, relationships. So random. The weekend without the E. I have to look that up later to see if I'm clarify that because I'm getting it's a woman at a party again. Is it the same woman or a different one? He had help with his name too. Like they were trying to help him. He went to a lot of places. Rebel again. I think he was getting ideas from other people, record producers, people saying, you're gonna be successful, it's a formula, have a name like this, poppy, catchy, short, follow our formula, and you'll get this life. Look at all the other people who have this life. They followed this formula. And yet again, he's the rebel. He said, F your formula. I'm doing me. I'm the Weeknd and I'm doing me. All right. It probably means something very near and dear to his heart. I'm getting that he may have been inspired on his travels, meeting different people at different places, different parties, maybe on the weekends. I don't know. I just thank you. Let's keep going here. Okay, next question. Introduction to fame. We kind of went over that. He's come up. What was his introduction to fame like and his influences? I was getting very heavy. Michael Jackson is one of his big influences, but that doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. Only call you. Oh, also leave a comment. What's your favorite Weeknd song? Do you like his older stuff? Do you like his newer stuff? The slower songs, the more poppy songs on the radio? Let me know. Leave a comment. In my head is The Hills. I only call you when it's 5:30. Yeah, I was listening to that earlier. I like his beats, like when the beat drops, just makes me feel something. It feels good. Okay, introduction to fame, his influences. Let's go. Major influences, minor influences. Yeah, he had people around him who helped him or who inspired him. Um, his influences were a source of comfort for him when he was on this journey of trying to find his way, inspiration, trying to find his way as a kid, struggling kid in Toronto, having a lot of uncertainty, dealing with a lot of demons and angst and unstable home life and things like that, and him plotting to leave. I think that he looked at other artists' come up stories and which helped him formulate a plan, formulate a dream to do that himself. Okay. And by the way, my look is inspired by the Weeknd. I was getting black, top vibes. I was deciding between red lip or purple lip. I was going to do the purple lip. That was my own preference, but the Weeknd was really pushing me to do the red lip. It was very insistent, red lip, red lip, red lip. So the black and red combo is definitely inspired by Mr. Weekend. Okay. We may have to retouch every now and then. Okay. All right, let's keep this going. Yes, so his early influences, I'm getting MJ, I'm getting even Michael Jackson, I'm even getting like athletes and basketball stars and um yeah, people who were inspired to take the bull by the horns and make drastic changes to their life for the better out of necessity. Like, there's some personality types that, for lack of a better term, like may settle for a crappy situation, whatever that situation is. And then there are other people who will say, I won't put up with this anymore. My life is shit. I was dealt some really bad hands, bad cards. I'm not going to be down on my luck about this. I'm going to go get them. And I think that's what he did. And I think he was reading up on people who did that same thing. And I think he was, wow, these are beautiful cards. He was destined to do this. He mustered up in himself hope, even though he was very downtrodden as a kid, as a boy, and he found his luck. Okay. Wow, it's beautiful. I'm getting athletes were influenced him too, like basketball players. Magic Johnson came in my head for some reason, and it says Angel Magic here, so I think that's confirmation. I'm getting Michael Jackson, I'm getting Michael Jordan, and I'm getting Magic Johnson. So I'm getting like um Black celebrities in sports and in music as well that were of influence to him. Heartache. Yep. Okay, I think we're moving on to the music now. Let's go for it. So this card indicated to me heartache. I know his music is a lot of it has to do with heartache and yeah, balancing a chaotic lifestyle while also having a heart broken and dealing with that. Okay, next topic. We are going to move on to his music, albums, collaborations, and his overall music style and themes. All right, let's pull on that, please. He doesn't stop till he's 100% satisfied with his work. Hmm. And he's always evolving. Like I'm getting the sense that he's ever evolving with his sound. Okay. He's inspired by his experiences. He's inspired by his past. He's inspired by the way people made him feel. He finds opportunity in every experience. He finds that his experiences give him luck. Okay, what is with this mail and news? I'm getting the sense he looks on socials. Okay, he does research. He does research. He does research. Pfizer. Ooh. So I'm getting something. I'm getting some tea. Bear with me. Okay, so I think he's done research on different methods for succeeding in music. I think he's experimented with out of the box methods of success. I think he's consulted with other people regarding, say his goal is to be number one on the top whatever chart. Okay, for album, for song, whatever. He wants to be number one. I think that he creates that goal and then he does research and consults with other advisors, his team or third party, and he gets ideas for how he can be number one. And this is tying into his personality growing up as an outcast, right? Being different. I think he carried that throughout his career and quite literally strives to do things differently. So I'm getting the sense that he's very fueled and passionate about going against the grain and doing things differently than other people are doing so that he could be number one or fulfill whatever goal he has. Um, I think he works with symbolism a lot. So I know in his last album, he did a lot of like cross, or not his last album, the last album I really listened to be quite honest. In the last like 5 years, let's say, he dropped music and his videos and everything had a lot of cross symbolism. I think that he does things very intentionally. Not quite sure what the cross symbolism means, but I'm getting that maybe it resonates with a large group of people. And even if he's not doing it in a religious sense, maybe he's resonating with the Christian population. I don't know. I don't know. Is that right? Let's see. It's a very strange, very new. He worries a lot about his stability, so he's willing to go out of the box wherever it takes, and he's willing to release the demons or release the dragon within him that's got him where he is. I'm getting a large sense of grit, immense amount of grit. And he doesn't even put that on. He kind of seems to me like a soft boy, almost like a troubled sense, heartache and heartbreak, and kind of does music based on that. But he has an immense amount of grit and strength in him. And he's willing to go out of the box with his methods, do unconventional methods, symbolism. I'm getting like SEO keywords and stuff like that, like manipulating the tech system to um do things, I guess, on the internet that will help him succeed. I'm not getting like unethical or anything like that. I'm getting unconventional, because with the music and getting number one, the logic makes sense to me. Like you could sing your heart out, be the best in every arena, but if you're not doing the other things, like say with the imagery, say with the music videos, say with the um photo shoots, things like that, it can put you down in terms of ranking, right? So when we're talking about the music industry, yeah, it is about the music, but it's also about so many other things, so many other things. So I'm getting also that he doesn't do interviews. He probably made arrangements that he has to do other things in replacement. Very interesting. The strangers popping up. Like a lot. Okay, his misfortune in his relationships, in his past relationships, give him ideas. Just like my Taylor Swift reading. I mean, we all know Taylor Swift writes about her breakups and gets success off of that, right? I think the same thing for the Weeknd. I think that he loves extremely deeply to the point where he makes the person he's dating or the person he's dealing with romantically almost like very close to him as if they're their family to him. Okay. I'm getting that when he dates people or is involved with them, it's quite literally like he's turning a stranger into his family. Okay. And he's dealt with a lot of misfortune with that way of doing things, like loving too hard without maybe getting to know somebody enough. I think he loves the idea of love, and I think it frees him. I think the idea of love frees him from his mind, frees him from his past obstacles. He is a lover boy. He's had conflict, a lot of conflict in the idea of commitment, though. And I think that this goes back to his home life when he's felt like he had to choose between his home and his relationship and his music. And he chose his music. So I think that kind of mentality stayed with him and it almost paired in this into this idea that commitment will bring conflict because commitment means I have to turn down my career for it. I have to stop putting 1,000% into my music because I'll be committed. And I think that's where he gets hung up in his relationships and gets a lot of conflict in them because it can only go, I think he knows like subconsciously, it can only go to a certain point because he can't give 1,000% to everything. He can give 1,000% to one thing, and that will always be his music until maybe he retires, right? Um, so I'm getting the sense that, yeah, he kind of does. Is it self-sabotage? I don't know. He's willing to try love and make love. Um, Let me reword that. He's willing to take a jab at it and allow other people to maybe change his mind on his idea of love, his idea of commitment. But I think that he hasn't met that person yet who has changed it, who has been able to change that paradigm in his mind that he can't have a commitment because he gives 1,000% to his music. A lot of interesting stuff here. Very interesting. Like that symbolism, he literally has that in his music, his videos. We're going to talk about more of his symbolism too, because he did a lot of stuff with that cross stuff, and then he did a lot of with the Joker theme music. We're going to look into that music themes. Okay, another theme he does, other than heartbreak and heartache in relationships, is uh substance use. He's very raw and straightforward with his lyrics regarding substance use. So I'd like to take a look at that and particularly how he can be mainstream even with all of those themes. I understand a lot of people. Ooh, I think him being so raw and straightforward regarding substance use in his music actually delayed things, but he's very stubborn in that he does go against the grain. I think there may have been arguments back and forth, maybe between the people in this label and things like that. Like, we can't say that in music. Do you know who listens to this music? Who we want to listen to this music? Well, if we want this group of people to listen to our music, we can't be saying this because it's not appropriate for them. you know, this, that, and that, XYZ. So I think that's why he intertwines um his heartache and heartbreak stuff because that's more relatable and more peachy. But I think a core part is his music is and also gives him a lot of satisfaction because it's expressing who he is, that idea of the substance use and leaning on substances and how it makes him feel. I also want to know if he's going to enter recovery at any time because in my experience, you can only go so far with that. Oop, excuse me, give me a second. And not only substance use, but he also is very blunt with like name dropping. Like I know in one of his songs, he goes like, ass like Selena. Like he just name drops like that. So he's not afraid to be very blunt and very straightforward. Okay. With name dropping, with substance use dropping, with all of that stuff. I think that it did being that way did cause delays with maybe his success and his come up, but it's a core part of his music and who he is that he wouldn't let go of. Okay, this card keeps coming off out. Is it the imagery or is it the loss? Something there is a core part of who he is. Okay. Yeah, these three cards are very similar. Okay. I have to clarify this, but we're getting disingenuous, loss, endings. Okay. So let's clarify this. I got in my head the Rihanna song I loved and I lost. Drake and Rihanna. I've loved and I've lost. He doesn't let the label restrict him. Otherwise, he would retire, I'm getting, if it were that case, if it were that. If he would have to be disingenuous to who he is, he would just retire instead of succumbing to their demands. I think this outlook, this mentality may have caused him some obstacles, just being very against the grain. This is very strange. Um, I'm trying my best to interpret this. So I'm getting these cards. Um, Misfortune and luck. Okay, these are pretty much opposites, right? Misfortune and luck. So is it that his misfortune almost gives him something to write about and sing about, and that gives him success and luck and, you know, success, money? I'm getting that. Yeah. Success. Yeah. This is okay. I'm putting this together now. He's so blunt and straightforward in his music about his drug use, his relationships, his misfortune, um, his angst, his pain, almost like making himself look almost putting his vulnerability and his weaknesses in the front and center, in the limelight. And I think doing that, it's painful for him. And he's putting his misfortunes in the spotlight, but that's how he becomes successful. And that's his thing, you know. His heartache brings him luck, money. thinking about even reliving those terrible memories that people kind of just like move on from, try their best to move on from because it's so painful. I think he embraces it. I think he lives there, like in those painful memories in a way. And that's very tough to replay over and over again. It's very tough to replay negative things that went on in your life, painful memories over and over. But I think that method of doing that and putting his all in his music in that way and his performances is his thing. And it gives him the luck and it gives him the success and the money and the resonance with other people. Woo! Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. When I was channeling, I was getting um like I wanted to read on his formative events, some occurrences, some events in his life that shaped him. I was getting the loss of someone close to him, and I'm getting like him saying, "This was our dream. Should I continue on or should I stop living this dream in solidarity for you because this was our dream?" Let me clarify what that's about. Social engagement, something like a party. I'm getting there was a party, there was a phone call, there was obstacle. I don't know what exactly. Okay, these are pretty much the same cards that came up in the beginning with the stranger and this party, this person taking them under the wing. So whose dream was this? Or who is this? Advisor. I'm getting that he was introduced to these big people from this lady person friend. Maybe they were romantically involved. I don't know. So someone put him on and started this new beginning. And it was very, very passionate. And they were even traveling together and things like that. I don't know. I haven't done research on it, if any of his people in his early life, his early music career, um, died or anything like that. But it could be just the loss, like metaphoric loss, like they're just not in contact anymore. I'm getting their relationship was a gift. Wow, a gift and it ended. Okay. I'm getting that whoever this person was, they met at the party or the after party. That's one of his songs too, called That Party and the After Party. All right. Um, she introduced him to the life, said, "Hey, you could have this life. It's yours for the taking." She introduced him to other important people, said, "Put your passion into your work. It'll bring you luck. Of course, you're gonna have obstacles with these people, but you'll navigate. You'll start this new beginning. Let's make it official." Sign on the dotted line. They started traveling together. He saw it as a gift, brought him a lot of stability, brought him a lot of money. But then there was a change and it ended. Ended. It was a loss, misfortune. Okay. So that's the storyline I'm getting. Whoever this early person was, I'm getting this female brunette maybe took him under his wing, took him under her wing, and said, "This is the life. You can have this." Sign the dotted line with these people, XYZ, brought him fame, fortune, all good things. And then I don't know if it was an actual loss or they're just not in contact anymore, but I was getting earlier him saying in his head, "This was our dream. Should I continue on or should I stop in solidarity for you?" He has hope. He never gives up hope. I think deep down he knows he wants to keep going until he can't anymore. with the whole retirement stuff. I got that a few times in my head. He thinks about it, I think, but he knows he's gonna go until he physically can't anymore. Gonna keep music, making music until he can't, because that's his dream. And he wants even more recognition. He did the Super Bowl and everything. That was a huge pinnacle of his career, I'd say. But he wants more of that, more recognition, more philanthropy, even less gossip, more trusting people, more visionaries, more friendships, more happiness. Okay, let's move on to the Super Bowl. Since we brought that up, how was he chosen? Is this something he manifested for a long time? Um, he's not the type to do interviews or like be like front and center, but Super Bowl is very much front and center, right? So how does that work out? Misfortune again, Abel. Why these cards? Conflict. I think it was hard for him to pull it off. I think it was hard for him to pull it off, the Super Bowl. As in pull it off, like not the performance, I mean like getting to perform at the Super Bowl, getting them to agree. A lot of phone calls, a lot of phone calls, a lot of angry phone calls, a lot of angry texts. Holy moly. Not very happy people. Conflict, boxing gloves. I think he pissed a lot of people off. This card is really coming out for him a lot. And I'm really confused about the symbolism for that cross symbolism. He had some really good guides on the side, though. I'm getting their females. He doesn't stop with his goal until he's satisfied. If he has a goal, he doesn't stop till he gets it. That's his personality. He will fight and he will fight and he will fight until he gets it. He didn't come all this way to settle. He did not come all this way to settle. He gravitates toward female leaders, and I think they do bring him a lot of success in a way. I think they're the ones who pull the strings for him, help him. I think they help him, the females in power help him more than the males in power. I think the Super Bowl was a gift, a goal, and it was a gift to him, but he's worried about it. Okay, what does he have to exchange? Because I got in my head exchange, and then it says change, like exchange. What did he have to give to go for the in exchange for the Super Bowl? Okay, this is a little conspiracy, and I don't. This is all alleged, by the way. I could just be spewing BS. I don't think I am, but I don't know who he was dating prior or leading up to the Super Bowl. Maybe you guys could look this up and let me know. Who was the Weeknd dating leading up to the Super Bowl? I'm getting like a year before. And I was getting my head exchange. That's kind of, worrisome, break up with this person and I'll give you the Super Bowl. That's pretty hardcore. So yeah. But guess what? LA would do that. The music industry would do that, put you in all of these moral dilemmas, if you will. Um, put you in all types of situations you didn't even think were possible. You didn't never thought. So I'm getting a sense of an exchange. That doesn't make me very happy to say that. But like I said, the weekend doesn't stop until he gets his goal. And I guess, if that is true, he must have valued the Super Bowl more than that person. Um, or being with that person, not that person. It's not like they sacrificed him or something like crazy like that, okay? No, he valued the Super Bowl more than he valued a relationship, having that person in his life. Um, so I'm guessing if it were like a romantic relationship, it must have been hopefully on the downhill. Um, and he just knew. Okay, so dun, 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 dun. I'm not a fan of the weekend, so it's hard for me to say things that are maybe compromising for him. But I would just see what the cards are saying. Okay, so I was getting the sense that something was exchanged there, or I wouldn't be surprised if something were exchanged. But he got his goal, he wanted it, and he got it, right? Moving on, Hollywood. So I forgot to research this, but do you remember when the Hollywood sign was changed to Hollyweed? Like that was a thing, right? That's not something I just made up in my head. I'm pretty sure like a few years ago, like the Hollywood sign was changed from Hollywood to Hollyweed. So it's getting in my head Hollyweed, okay? And this ties into substance use. So the idea I'm getting here was basically that celebrities in LA, right, in that area have pretty much the same dealers, okay? And are using the same substances. Like the people who are using, the celebrities who are using, pretty much have the same dealers and are using just about the same substances, okay? Give or take. So I know that I'm getting the sense that the Weeknd Abel knows this. And so to protect himself, he'll observe celebrities who have the same dealer as him, who are using the same things. He'll observe them first before like proceeding with that thing or with that dealer. And observing meaning like looking at paparazzi photos, checking up on them, seeing how they are, maybe texting them, I don't know, seeing what's up, and kind of getting a sense of like, is that something I want to proceed with? Almost like a weird harm reduction way of saying, hey, should I proceed with this? And that's this thing with this whole world of substances, right? It's like you are playing darts with your life or Russian roulette with your life. So it makes sense to me um that he would do this. So can I get confirmation on this idea that maybe Abel will observe other celebrities who he knows are doing the same things? And does he have the capacity to take breaks and do detoxes and things like that? If he's not fully sober, does he have the capacity, the ability to take breaks from them? I think he's gotten help for his use before. Yep, he's gotten help before. Well, that's nice to hear. I don't know if it was a full rehab situation. He's gotten help before. He's been in and out of help, whether that's taking some courses, going to actual rehab, intensive outpatient programs, maybe more niche since they're celebrities. He's been in and out of programs. That's really nice to get the sense of. But I think maybe it might have been temporary. Okay. But that's good to hear that he did have that kind of help. He did accept that help. I mean, it brought him a lot of conflict. Um, I'm getting the sense that he's balancing the things that he wants in his life or needs in his life. So he has love, relationships, he has family, and then he has substances, and he's thinking about, well, these things, the family, the relationships, these things bring me happiness. And I have the substances which also give me short-term happiness and give me ideas and help me perform and make me who I am, give me good music. So I see the sense of like him weighing the things that he wants in his life, keep in his life. Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, this card keeps coming out. So I think the substances, I mean, I kind of alluded to this before, right? You can only go so far with them until you hit a brick wall and your life is in chaos in whatever shape or form that is. And then you realize that your relationships are strained or ended, your life is in shambles, yada yada. Um, I'm getting that he knows this and he's experienced that. And the reason it didn't make the news was because of the people around him. I think he has a really good team, a really good female team. It's particularly the females who are helping him and working day and night to protect him. He has a lot of love. Does he practice Islam? I forgot. No, I don't think it is. But I'm getting the sense of like a religious woman. I don't know if that's his mom or a family member. Okay, I'm getting the sense of that. I'm getting like the imagery of a hijab, but it could be symbolic. I'm getting a religious woman who's practicing and in tune, like has a direct line between like, or communication between source, her God, her version of God, and Abel. I'm thinking this is his mom. Wow. I think the females in his life are very important, instrumental to him, whether that be someone on the work end, like production, PR, and his family heavily. Relationships too, but they do come and go, even though they're important to him. Um, I'm getting the strong sense of female influence here. Okay, yeah. So the Hollywood sign. Yeah, can we dig more into that? I don't know if we got a straight answer there. I got a straight answer. I think he's gotten help before. And this whole harm reduction thing of like observing people who are doing the same things. I don't know. I guess that's it. Like I said, it's when you're in that world, it's like you're doing things to protect yourself, but it's like you're jumping through hoops. Do you know what I mean? To like to stay afloat. So it's like, oh, instead of just stopping the substance and stopping completely and saving my life that way, I'm looking at other people to see if they're gonna get hurt by this thing. So it's a little troublesome. That is very troublesome. That situation. But I think the first party he went to, he used a lot of substances too. That first introduction party that got him into it. So it's like he was introduced this way. That's what he knows. He doesn't really know a life other than, the LA life to him is this. It's all in a big package for him. So he's like making a decision. Well, I can go home to Toronto and live a happy life and be in a rocking chair with some kids and on the porch and smoking a cigarette or whatever the case is, or I can live this life, the glamorous life, quote unquote glamorous, where people pay attention to me and I can get a thrill and yeah, I crash and burn, but that's who I am, right? I do things big. I do things 1,000%. That's what I signed up for. That's who I am. I'm unique. I have a lot of value to give here. in this place. So I think he kind of weighs that a lot in his mind. But he does fear of like burning out, or he is aware that of the whole crash and burn or burning out due to substances and due to the fast life. I think people protect him though. People at home protect him, people around him protect him. If this card comes out again, is it religion? Is that what I'm missing? I think that's what it was. I think it's his version of spirituality or religion. I think that's it. He has a direct line towards his source and his mind. Okay. And that's what brings him success. That was coming out way too much for, I realized I was missing something. So it's his spirituality, huh? He has direct communication. Well, I talked about this in some of my other readings too, like that inspiration you get from source energy. A lot of artists do, at least. It helps him grow his intuition and avoid conflict and like theft and untrustworthy people. And him leaning on his spirituality is it's imperative. And having that direct line of communication with his spirit family, spirit guides, is instrumental for success and its protection as well. He probably, I think that was a Canadian accent coming out because he's Canadian. He probably is very inspired and gets a lot of inspiration um, through prayer or his version of prayer. Yeah, and it helps create his magic, his work. All right, thank you, thank you. Oh, beautiful. And we are over an hour, so I'm like halfway through the topics too. Oh my gosh. We are halfway through. We're gonna go through this next section, which is relationships with other artists. I have a handful of other artists I wrote down from my channeling earlier. So I want to see how he relates to these people. Okay, rapid fire. Ariana Grande. Commitment. I had a feeling they were dating. I think they were dating. I'm just gonna say it. I think they had something. I think they met at a party. They had something. I always had a feeling, and I think it might be their best kept secret, unless there are conspiracy theories about that. And I just didn't know. I think they had something. They do a lot of collaborations, music-wise. I think they had a commitment. I think they went on trips. That's interesting. I was getting all positive cards. Why didn't it make the news? Why weren't they public? Conflict, delays, worries. I was getting all positive cards until I said, why didn't they hit the news? They kept it private. Oh my God. How did Dalton come around then? It was just crash and burn, passionate crash and burn. I would have liked to see them together. They are very different. Like the Weeknd's very edgy and Rihanna at the time was very poppy. Princess Pop or whatever. But didn't really expect that. I think they had something. Okay, next, Justin Bieber and The Weeknd. I was thinking that they're very similar. Leaders. They're both leaders in their craft. They're both strong. I think one of them is a Leo. I'm not sure. Strong, passionate, very similar qualities. And they both have to be careful with the substance use. Success. Love the voice. Next, Selena Gomez. I know they dated. Planning, strength, leaders. They're both leaders. They felt restricted. Why? They're PR teams. So I'm getting the sense of in celebrity, like if you're dating, if there are two celebrities dating, it's almost like their PR teams are also dating. Okay. So I think there weren't shared values when it came to their PR teams, which wouldn't work, right? It was a romance though. I think it brought out Selena's rebellious side. Oh, she learned about his childhood and it was very, it was a nice relationship. I think they think about it fondly. It just, they didn't have shared values, is how I would say it, with themselves and their PR teams. It's like that. I feel like kids and stuff, like maybe one of the kids needed it. I don't know. Benny Blanco, I was getting before like the sense of thank God I didn't do music with him. I think someone thinks they're fake. Is that Benny or is that Weeknd? I think they were at parties together. I think they had got to observe what each other was like. I'm getting conflict here. I think they knew the same people, so they were in the same message chains and things like that when stuff hit the fan. You know, when you're in a group text, right? This is an analogy, and it's like, say, six people in the group text, and people are texting each other individually and in the group. Some people know some things, other people know other things. I'm getting that. When stuff hit the fan, it's like Benny and the Weekend were kind of in the same realm because they knew the same people. So they knew each other by extension and received similar information. That's what I'm getting for him. And I got the sense of like, thank God I didn't work with Benny. He's dated my ex. Hadid sisters. He loves the sisters. That's cute. He has a lot of memories with both or with one. Oh. So that's one relationship that actually did hit the news, right? The Bella. So I'm getting the sense that the Weeknd dates people in secret and he dates people in public, whichever works better for him. Yeah, Ariana, I think that was in secret, and then the Bella Hadid in public. But it was also their conflict. It was also in public too. But they were in love. I think they lived together or wanted to live together at home. I think it came with the whole family though, and the family was a little bit problematic. All allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I wish I could go in deeper depth, but I'm already over an hour, so Bad Bunny, baby. Let's look at Bad Bunny and The Weeknd. It's kind of random, but I was like, whatever. They have memories together. What? They're both rebels. They're both visionaries, have ideas. They're both lover boys. They both value family. It's nice. They have a lot of similarities. Maybe that's why I wanted to pull them with them. They're both romantics. They're both strength. They're both like lions. They both dealt with misfortune in the industry or otherwise. They think practically, hard work ethic, a lot of opportunities there. They're very similar people. I think they know the same people and their teams like interact probably. Interesting. Okay, next. Taylor Swift. So Taylor is or was friends with Selena, and Selena dated The Weeknd. So by extension, worries, endings. I think Taylor Lee was a source of support for Selena during the breakup. Yeah, so I think I'm getting that their interactions were very brief and kind of were by extension because Selena was friends with Taylor. I'm getting that their interactions were just brief and just had to do with anything Selena and were mainly like Taylor's role was mainly to comfort Selena during the breakup. Drake. I don't think they did music together. Gift, stability, money. They could make a lot of money together. Drake and The Weeknd could make a lot of money together. When they figure that out, how have they done music together? Romance. They talk about they're both lover boys. I mean, that's just saying. I think they would be very successful making movies, music together. Is that slip? I think they could fix a lot of each other's financial issues. There's a lot of opportunities there. Breaking the weekends. Yep. I don't know if that would ever see the light of day, but people would buy it. Because they have different sounds. So it'd be kind of cool to hear them together. Okay, how about SZA? SZA and The Weeknd. They've been at a parties together. Conflict, oh my gosh. Home, friend. So they have friends, mutual friends, money, conflict, stability. Did they try to work together and then failed? So The Weeknd is an independent thinker. I think maybe they tried and they both delays and family stuff. So they had to shift gears and make a decision not to. I think they may have been trying to plan some music, but family stuff got in the way and relationship stuff got in the way, and they had to shift gears and not do it. Future. I know they did music together. Future The Weeknd. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there. I'm just gonna stop right there. And they would actually put out that music. Great. They're good collaborators, both of them together. Nicki Minaj. They have the same team of people, people, similar teams. I think they had a lot of stop and go with collaborations. I don't think they even put anything out. There was a lot of opportunity there. The Weeknd I'm getting is very picky, and his team is very picky with who he commits with in terms of music and opportunities. Very picky. Like has to be very like what we're looking for. Same values, same passions, same work ethics, or else it's going to be a crash and burn. Cool. Next is Rihanna. They party together. Oh my God, someone loves them. The Weeknd, do you have a crush on Riri? I think he crushed on her since he was little. I think he loves her. That's some tea. I think he thinks about her at night. You guys, that's some tea right there. Comment below if you think that's some tea. If you're sipping tea right now, because I am. I'm sipping on this tea. I didn't even know that. Does she know? She has a lot of suitors. Okay, where they got hung up is the shared value of family. I don't think he wants a family, and I think that she did. I think maybe she was an option for him and vice versa. That's some tea. Are they around the same age? 30s? 40? I don't know. Holy moly. Yeah, I think the weekend and I think Riri and the weekends considered each other romantically. And whether that be just our teens kind of looking at potential suitors and then figuring out that no, but it's very interesting. Okay, Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. The weekend ended his relationship, friendship or whatever, his interactions with Tory Lanez, to protect himself. Next, Megan. He's protective over Megan. Even though she may have been a stranger and they're far apart, he's low-key protective for her. And he worries about her, wants her to be real, wants her to focus on work and be passionate and ignite that flame. He cares about Megan Thee Stallion. He sees conflicts in her energy. Is there a romance there? I think they have memories together. I think they met. They had memories. I think he was a source of support, just in this origin card. Wow. He has common themes in his life, just like his music has themes, his life has themes too. Okay. Well, very interesting. All right, you guys. Speaking of romance, I had a download or something about him being in a relationship, but there was something weird about it, like strange, and that's why they didn't want it to go public. Was an age gap? And who was that? And love. He's in love, or was when he was younger, with someone who was older. Got it. And he had to pretend like he wasn't. Okay. And he had to start new and crash and burn. His relationships do seem tend to crash and burn. That's kind of the theme, whether he does it himself or just kind of happens. All right. Does he have kids? Because I don't think he has kids, but let's confirm. I think he ended the idea of him ever having kids. I was getting before that he has kids, but I think maybe that's a potential timeline, or was a potential timeline that he considered, like that home life, that stability in Toronto or wherever. Um, that was a timeline for him, but I think he kind of sabotaged that. He said no. Okay, I was getting the sense that he relate with his inspirations, he relates with older artists. Like, yeah, people were nostalgic of the Michael Jackson, the even like the Marvin Gaye, like 80s. And his music now does have a sound like that, like the 80s. Yeah. How about the Joker theme? What was with that? Him embodying the Joker. Okay, he relates with the Joker and the storyline because the Joker had a lot of misfortune in his life, had a lot of stuff happen, had a lot of loss, had a lot of love. And he's a very passionate person. And I think he related with the Joker on a very deep level to the point where he wanted to embody him in his art. Got it. Uh, so about the fatherhood thing, I was getting that the label said, hey, fatherhood isn't practically something that's good for your image because you're talking about substances and heartbreak and things like that. Unless you're going to start singing about fatherhood, that shouldn't happen. So he felt like, almost like you're right, like I would be a fraud, disingenuous if I were to be a dad and still singing about what I sing about. So I have to choose one, and I think he chose the route that he's currently on. How about Easter eggs in music? Does he leave like little Easter eggs and little hints, things that we don't know that we need to catch on to? If he's lucky with the music, he will do it and to be satisfied enough, but it's not on his priority list to like do like the Taylor Swift kind of thing of like underline this and you'll get a secret message. Yeah, I don't think he prioritizes that too much. How about secret relationships? I was getting Angelina Jolie for some reason. Not a thing. He thought about it. He loves her. He's like a woman, not a womanizer. Like he loves women, like beautiful women, I guess. Yeah, so he can pursue people like random people, beautiful women like that, like say like Angelina Jolie, like he could do it, right? Slide in the DMs or make some phone calls or whatever, but he has to decide whether to take that risk or not. And he has people like kind of guiding him whether to do that or not. But I think that he thinks she's beautiful. Maybe that's what I was getting at. Maybe loving from afar or something. How about the whole Vegas theme? He was guided to do that because Vegas resonates with him. Sin City. He feels like he's living in Sin City, love and loss, highs and lows, peaks and valleys. Hmm, okay. Do you think that does the Weeknd think that he encourages drug use in his music? And does he struggle with that? Influencing kids? He plans carefully and he has a PR team to help him. He's true to his rebellious side, yet he has protection, so he's not too out of line with what he says. And he thinks about it a lot. He may put an end to all that, though. Depending on who he lets in his life, he could put an end to, he could have a shift in like his music and not sing so much about substances and just move towards like relationships and things like that and romance and where he is in life now. I think where he is in life will reflect his music. So another random one. Does the Weeknd have any tattoos? He's thought about it. He's thought about it. I think people talked about it. Is he going to retire soon? Is he going to be one of those more forever in the industry type of people? He wants to travel and have stability and have romance. He's just had obstacles with balancing that and his success. But he's a rebel by heart, so he'll talk with people. He'll think about it. He'll sleep on it. On whether he will live a dad life or family life, relationship family life. He thinks about it. So it is one of his timelines. And he's a romantic by heart, so I could see him settling down, to be quite honest. It's just he has to choose that destiny for himself. I think I could see him being in the industry for a long time though. Um, oh, his other theme was like I was listening to his music and one of his pictures came up with like he did this thing where he pretended to do facial plastic surgery or something to like show people of like Hollywood is now and people just changing the way they look and it kind of looking ridiculous. I think he had support for this theme as well. He came up with it and he wanted to pursue it. He's bringing to light the misfortune of people changing who they are for society standards and them appearing and becoming someone they're not. And I think he relates with that. Is he truly a Raxologist type of person? Because one of his lyrics he says homeless to Forbes list. Is that true? Yeah, his fame was a gift. Hold on, what's this? Be truly like homeless. Yeah, but he didn't feel like he wasn't in the best circumstances when he was young, but he felt like his relationships kept him afloat and kept him feeling like he's a rich man when he didn't really have too much to his name. Will he enter substance use recovery? I know that he um probably got help in the past, but would he sustain his recovery? He plans on it if he's lucky. If he's lucky enough to get there, yeah, and commit to it, he plans it for sure. Thinks about it. Especially if he's going to start a family, I think that would be more relevant for him. So I think in his mind, it's like romance, family, and then recovery will come with that too, because it will incentivize him to change. Yeah, he's conflicted if he's choosing the career pathway, it's going to be harder for him to quit the substances. That's his line of thinking anyway. He loves his work, but it restricts him to finding that relationship, that sustainable relationship, and it worries him. He's worried about what the public would think if he chooses a family life over a career, and he finds that would be the greatest misfortune. And I think that he thinks his work is more important than his life in many ways. He would sacrifice rest if it means putting out a new song that we're all listening to. And he thinks that if the money's there, then what does it matter if the substances are there too? A home life can wait. This is my prime. So that's what he's conflicted with now. And that's his mentality right now. It's like, this life comes, we said this earlier, but this life comes with the substances, it's all a package deal. It's one or the other for me. So if I'm in it, I'm in it. If I'm doing the family life, I'm gonna quit it. So you'll have the opportunity to change your life and succeed as a husband. He will and get his stability. That's a great way to end it. Woo! Yeah, that's a great way to end it. I think the Weeknd will have his opportunity to live a stable life. Okay? And let's hope that he does. Let's hope and pray that he does. Well, you guys, that was the celebrity tarot reading for the Weeknd, aka Abel Tesfaye. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys comment. Please leave a comment. What would you like next? What did you like about this reading? What would other questions do you have? Maybe I can answer them in the comments for you. What would you like to see next? Who is our next celebrity tarot reading going to be on? You let me know. Okay. Lots of love. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.